There once was a man named Elroy Thistlewhip who lived in a crooked yellow house that smelled faintly of peanut butter and regret. Elroy was completely average in every way. Average height, average hairline, average obsession with watching pigeons argue outside his window. But one Tuesday at exactly 3:37 p.m., something deeply unaverage happened. Elroy's shadow disappeared. Not faded, not shifted, just gone. He noticed it while brushing his teeth, gazing into the mirror as one does when questioning life's decisions. The bathroom was brightly lit, yet no shadow danced on the wall behind him. "Strange," he mumbled, spitting into the sink like a detective in an old noir film. "Am I haunted, or just incredibly forgetful?" He tried jumping to see if the shadow would lag behind. Nothing. He even stood under a streetlight that night, arms stretched wide like a scarecrow in denial. Still nothing. His shadow had officially ghosted him. Part 2. Suspicions and Toasters. Over the next 3 days, Elroy became increasingly paranoid. He whispered apologies to his floor tiles. He interrogated his slippers. He even shouted at his own reflection, demanding answers. Then, on the 4th day, something even stranger happened. His toaster spoke. "Hey, you dropped your shadow," it said, voice gravelly like it had smoked for 50 years. Elroy froze mid-toast. "Excuse me?" I said, "You dropped your shadow, behind the couch. Go look." Now, Elroy was not the sort of man to argue with a toaster, especially one that had just finished making perfect golden toast. He walked to the couch, hesitated, then slowly looked behind it. There, curled up like a lazy cat, was his shadow. Sleeping. He reached out to touch it. And the moment he did, the shadow hissed and darted away, slithering under the fridge like a skittish lizard. "You scared it," said the toaster. "Now you have to earn its trust again." Part 3. The Shadow Rehabilitation Program. The toaster introduced itself as Glenn. Apparently, Glenn had once been a vacuum cleaner but got promoted. Promoted to toaster? Elroy asked, confused. No, promoted to sentience. The toaster gig just came with it. Glenn took charge of Elroy's Shadow Rehabilitation Program SRP trademark. It involved 3 steps. Apology pastries. Every morning, Elroy had to leave a croissant on the floor for his shadow. Trust-building dance rituals. At 3:33 p.m. daily, he had to perform a mildly embarrassing interpretive dance. Story time. Before bed, Elroy had to read bedtime stories to the shadow's favorite stuffed octopus, Sir Blorbo. After a week, the shadow began peeking out from under the furniture. After 2, it started mimicking Elroy again. Not perfectly, but like a toddler playing charades. By the 3rd week, they were almost fully in sync. Almost. Part 4. The Wormhole in the Fridge. One night, while reaching for milk, Elroy discovered a glowing blue vortex swirling behind the yogurt. Before he could say, "Well, that's new," he and Glenn the toaster were sucked into it, along with a half-eaten cheese stick and a calendar from 1998. They landed in a dimension made entirely of carpet and regret. Giant floating socks drifted across the sky. A faint saxophone solo played in the distance, even though there was no source. "This is the Shadow Realm," Glenn whispered. But, like the B-side version. They soon discovered a council of forgotten shadows living beneath a disco ball tree. Elroy's own shadow was hailed as a returning hero. Apparently, it had left him to become a motivational speaker for emotionally neglected shadows. Its name? Derek. Yes, the shadow said proudly. I'm Derek now. I inspire other shadows to stand tall, metaphorically, of course. We don't have spines. Part 5. The Showdown and Reconciliation. But all was not well. The realm was ruled by a tyrannical mop named Queen Sudsy, who believed Elroy's presence threatened the fabric of mildly inconvenient reality. She sentenced him to eternal sock sorting, a punishment so cruel it had broken even the bravest of floor mats. Elroy refused. He stood up, cleared his throat, and challenged the queen to a duel of interpretive dance, invoking ancient law from the book Shadow Law for Dummies, which Glenn had somehow downloaded via Bluetooth. What followed was a dance so powerful, so nonsensical, that even the Sky Sox wept. Elroy did the flaming pigeon, the upside-down yawn, and the legendary backward nap, moved by his sincerity. Derek the Shadow stepped forward and declared, I'm going home with Elroy. Queen Sudsy, tears forming in her mop strands, allowed them to leave. Part 6. The Return and a New Life. Back in the real world, things changed. Elroy's shadow, Derek, no longer just followed him. It waved to strangers, posed dramatically during conversations, and occasionally lip-synced during karaoke. Glenn the Toaster got a job as a therapist for emotionally burnt bread. Elroy himself started a podcast, Shad,